today on the show we talk about, we are asking if men are intimidated by successful women. And some people are of the view that no man would go and marry a liability or date someone who doesn't have anything doing. But then others also think some men do not even care. They wish you would just be at home and then they'll just give you the money and tell you what to do. All right, so this is what my panel, my team and I are coming to discuss. And we have a group of people on the other side who have questions for us. So don't go away, we'll be right back. Just joined, we are on the set of the Prophet's Wife Show, and this is the Prophet's Wife Show. As I mentioned earlier, the topic is men intimidated by successful women. If you just joined, you can just share the link to your friends on Facebook. You can share the link to YouTube and let them send their comments and contributions to the page, and we will read it out. My team, I think everybody's ready, so I'll start with Mommy. Mommy, introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Mami Chuma Bafo. Mami Chuma Bafo on the panel to discuss if men are intimidated by successful women.
My name is Nelson-Eshun. I'm an entrepreneur and a man of God. I believe we're going to have a wonderful discussion today.
Right.
My name is Tony Kwashi. I do brick and mortar and a student of the gospel.
Oh. And I am Mimi L. Bernard. Okay, so the topic. Okay, so I'll start with you. Yes, I'll start with you because I believe that if you are a man and you know your purpose, no matter who the person is, be it man or woman, shouldn't intimidate you with their success. So why should a woman that you're married to or the woman you want to marry, why should her success even intimidate you, Mr. Bashi?
Okay, looking at the topic itself is a kind of very, very broad and a deep question.
Okay.
So today as we are seated here, for instance, I have seen myself that we are on a very deep ocean and trying to anchor our ship in a bottomless pit. Yeah. When you understand what I'm saying is that bottomless pit, when you throw an anchor, it doesn't hold. The ship just keep on turning around. In that, I say so because of the topic. First of all, who is a woman and who is a man? Okay. So, looking at the topic, I begin to, being a student of the Bible, I begin to search through the Gospels and see, because as a builder, as I introduce myself, that I do brick and mortar. Just means I'm a builder. As a builder, foundations are very, very important to me. So, with the question, I would first of all want to lay a foundation before we can continue.
Okay.
In that, who is a woman? Who is a man? Okay. So, like I said, when I begin to look through the phases of the scripture, I was taken back to initially when the topic came. I tried to pick people's mind and talk to the people, some people to see what they feel about the topic. But being a student of the Bible, again, I was taken back
to the Bible
with Jesus Christ and his team.
Okay.
When one day on a journey, he has to ask them who do men say I am?
Okay.
But after everything, the question was, who do you say I am?
Okay.
So the topic was telling me that it's not about what people are thinking, but it's about what we are thinking, or what I as a person is thinking about the topic.
Okay.
So I begin to search through the phases or walk through the phases of the gospel to see who is a woman and who is a man. So I was taken to creation.
All right.
Yeah, in Genesis. So when the man was created, or the garden was created, there was a handing over ceremony that the garden was handed over to Professor Adam. After naming all the animals and everything, and the men, as we are in the face of that gospel, I have seen that probably the naming ceremony wasn't like the way God done. Because God, after doing everything, we said, and it looks good.
Okay.
But you see, man, at the way we are, you can give me this phone, I'll say thank you and I'll walk away. The woman is going to describe the color. He says, oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I like it. It's black and that kind of thing. And men are not like that. So just after the handing over ceremony, they have seen that God said it's not good for a man to be alone. Okay. So there was an introduction of a woman. And that was the biggest of ceremony in creation.
Okay.
That the garden was handed over to. So all along, Professor Adam thought that this is his possession. And mind you, he didn't ask for the helpmeet. He didn't ask for the helpmeet, but God thought he was given. So God said that, let me give you a helpmeet that will be equal.
Okay.
So woman came. And let me make another statement. Walking through, we will come there later. It means that what I saw is that woman in creation is different from woman and men.
Okay.
They are the same body, but
what's the difference?
The difference is that in the garden, the man and the woman are the same.
Yeah.
Because when God brought the woman, he didn't give anybody authority over the other. But when you go further in Genesis 3, when there was a fall, that God made a statement, a decree.
What was the statement?
The statement was that at birth, woman will live and her desire will be for the husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Okay.
That is where I personally have seen the change.
Okay, so in ruling over thee, how do you understand it?
What I understand by ruling over thee is that is where men had been given the headship over the household or creation or a woman or wherever you find a union between man and a woman. That is what I understand by ye shall be a ruler over thee, because rulers rule.
So how does that, does it mean that God doesn't want a woman to be more successful than a man?
Not at all.
Okay, so how does...
Would come there. The reason why I'm laying this foundation is...
There's no time. We have two other people here.
I know. So I thought that you would go to...
No, I just wanted you to land with whatever you're trying to... So that when the questions come...
God made women to be very successful. But ruler over thee is like now, as man had become the head, that they would look at, over a woman. It means that, again, when you go somewhere in the scripture, in the same scripture, it's been said that they will leave home, their parents, and become one. But when they become one, who is the head?
The man.
The man is
but the fact that she is successful than you doesn't mean you're not the head.
No, not at all.
Okay, let me come to you.
Okay.
All right,
so,
Mr.
well, I believe that this is not surprising at all, because the need to achieve naturally implanted in man as part of their DNA. So now, when you are young as a man, you are programmed to think that you would grow up one day and become a provider.
Okay.
So men naturally, deep down in their DNA, they desire, they strive to achieve, they strive to succeed in life, because they know that definitely one day they're going to be providers. But one of the things men sometimes forget is that in the same way your parents were advising you to study hard when you were in school, in the same way your parents were cheering you on when you were in school, a lady or a woman was also being cheered on. A woman was also being encouraged to study hard. Now, so you find out that at the end of the day, you are not the only one who's going to achieve a significant level of success. A woman somewhere one day is also going to achieve a significant level of success. So I don't think any man should be intimidated by any woman's success, because I would love to give birth to my daughter, my son, and encourage them both that when you go to school, study hard. That when you go to school, strive to be the best in life. You understand? So I don't think men should be intimidated at all.
But why do you think some men are?
Well, I believe some men are intimidated by a woman's significant level of success in life, because they do not understand where they fit in the woman's, grand scheme of things, or the woman's purpose. So let me take myself for example. Now, when I started dating my wife, she had already started working, and I had now left school. So to a greater extent, at that time, she was more successful than I am with respect to achieving our purpose, or achieving my purpose. But I never found that to be, intimidating or anything. I kept praying for her, and I'm telling you, I believe it is because I kept praying for her that today she has a better job. Now, at that time, I hadn't started the business yet, but when I started the business as an entrepreneur, I realized that there were some months where, the money that came in, into my account was more than the money that came into her account, or the money that she earned. But because, in entrepreneurship, there's no certainty of income, and because of economic turmoil and all that, she had a job. She was doing a 9 to 5. So her income was ascertained. Her income was certain. Whether she goes to work or not, at the end of every month, she was going to earn X amount of money. But for me, sometimes over time. But for me, the money, how much I'll earn would be determined by how many contracts that I sign. Right. You understand? And I was never intimidated. I just keep praying for, and I still do.
Okay, right. The only woman.
I would love to begin with who a successful woman is. So my definition of a successful woman is basically a woman who has things going for her, a woman who is able to fend for herself. She has a plan, she has a clear direction of where she's going to. That is my definition of a successful woman. Now, as naturally as it is, it's the man is supposed to provide and all of that. And in our cultural setting, yes, in our cultural setting, when you're able to even look back at our parents, you realize that they married, the men were on the top and then the women were below. So usually the men were better off in terms of intellect and everything. But in the 1990s, we started advocating for women education. Educate your daughter, educate the girl child education. So we started from there, and then you realize that the woman became not just a domestic woman. She didn't just have to be in the kitchen to cook. It was because of this education, okay, girl child education. We say knowledge is power. And society has evolved over the years. It keeps on evolving. So you realize that a woman has to do more. There are more pressure on a woman to do something. So we started working. We come home and we do what we have to do at home. And then we realized that doing our work, there was something about us we didn't know then. This was as a result of this girl child education. So we are now doing the 9 to 5. We are trying to make ends meet. We're trying to meet and bring something home. And an average man is not necessarily, due to everything that is happening now, will not necessarily be able to take off all of the expenses, because cost of living is going up. So back then, you realize that the man was providing, but now 2 people come together to provide. So when the man is not able to provide, the woman is provided. So the trends have changed. Okay, now the question as to, are men intimidated by successful women? Because of the changing scenes, you have women doing more. And if you notice, if men would really admit it, women are very resourceful. So the moment we keep doing something, we want to be a detail, we want to get it right, we want to be productive, get a certain result. And to that extent, a man might be intimidated because he culturally or naturally thinks I'm supposed to provide. But then there are certain kind of men, open-minded men, they wouldn't be intimidated because they realize that I can't take all the expenses by my own. So I need that woman to support me to attend to that. So such a man wouldn't be intimidated. And then a man who clearly knows where he's going to, he has a plan, he knows what he carries. You know, I'm going here. So for his example like this, his wife was working, he wasn't working, but there was no point in time he was intimidated. He has a plan, the woman has a plan, so there's no intimidation here. And interestingly,
they were dating back then.
They were dating, married, yeah. But then yes, you know, there are maybe single women out there who are doing so well, who are not dating or who are not married because there's a level, yes, there's a perception out there. And then the third category of men are lazy men. You know, lazy men will not naturally be intimidated by women because they can take advantage of everything she's doing and can relax. Enjoy, and then she would.
Yes, I told you about the video I watched. Yeah, I don't want to mention the name. He was talking about this topic, and he asked a guy. He said, "Okay," Steve said he had a problem with the wife earning more than him because he believed as an OG, he believes that he should earn more. So why should a wife rather earn more? And the guy was like, whoa, he doesn't have a problem with it. They said the man should bring something to the table, the woman should also bring something to the table. But this is a woman bringing the whole table. So why should he worry? No. He's okay. The woman should bring the table and he will relax and enjoy. Mm-hmm. I was like, so we have people like this. Yeah. So it's just like you said, someone can take advantage of the fact that she is successful. So let me just lie on the low and enjoy everything that will come with it. Okay, Mr. Kwashi, how would you compare the successful woman of now to 20 years back?
A successful woman of now compared to 20 years back, that is initially what I was saying, that it looks like success itself has a voice. It speaks in certain voice. So 20 years ago or some years back, if you can remember, that is where women were advocating that there was this Beijing conference and other things because women want to deceive. Naturally, it's like, that is why I did the comparison from creation, that there was an equal strength. But what happened is that after the fall that I made the difference between the woman of creation and at birth, it happened that the woman at birth now realize their strength after the fall. So they begin to do more to help themselves. So they become very successful. But as men, some of the men are getting intimidated by their success. They begin to speak in the language of success. Okay. So they become loud. Loud in the sense that they made the achievement to speak more for them, not as a person. Because a lot of things have been relegated to the background 20 years ago. As she said, from now, it began to come up like the women are being seen doing more than men.
I asked that because growing up, there was this family that I used to play with them, and the mother was like, so the father wasn't working. Their father wasn't working. He was always at home. The woman would go get food stuff, go and sell, and then maybe come after 3 days. She'll come, and I think the whole family was depending on the woman. But I think no one even knew that this was what was going on. But then you could see that this man is always in the house. I don't know whether he was looking for a job and he wasn't getting it, but she was that like humble. You wouldn't know that this woman is taking care of the family. My question is, you see, sometimes when the woman gets to take care of most of the things, when you're not careful, she becomes controlling. Sometimes sense of entitlement. Okay, so I'm the one doing this, you're sitting here, or you're not bringing anything. Maybe the guy is not working and she's more successful than the guy. So maybe this is what is going. So you see that people tend to see the woman as like she's taking over everything. That's why I said, how would you compare the successful woman of 20 years ago to now? Because we had people who were successful, though they didn't go to school. They were like, they were okay. They were working, women who were working, like they wake up in the morning, she's gone at dawn, she comes back late in the evening, she goes to the market to sell, to do everything for the family to eat. That is a successful woman.
Yes.
So what's the difference between now and then?
Yes, now then it's like like you gave the example, like the woman always comes back, do everything, but it's like they don't care. They want to be seen at the background doing everything. But with time, it's like we are not giving them recognition. So in a way, this topic itself is like identity crisis. Identity crisis, it says that now the woman is seen to be doing everything, but you are not giving him the head and the recognition. So now she herself has to tell the world by her character that I am in charge. So women of yesterday, of 20 years back, wouldn't mind anybody seeing her doing anything. But the women of today want to see what they have achieved. That is why I said that achievement and success has its language that it speaks in. So now they have made sure that that language of success is loud.
Okay, thank you. What would you recommend as a successful woman who isn't dating to do to get the right partner?
Well, what I would, admonish any successful woman who's not dating to do in order to get the right partner is not just to look out for a man who has already achieved a significant level of success.
These successful women do not even care about whether you've made it or not.
Yes.
Like she just wants someone. She wants companionship.
That is true, because
closer,
because one of the things we refuse to know is that no matter how successful, seemingly successful a man is, one of the things that women find most attractive in men is not the glitz, the glamour, how many cars he has, how many houses he has built, but how strong and how empowered he is up there. So women find men who are empowered up here, men who are intelligent, men who understand that they don't need to give themselves 6 months to build all the houses in the world. They only need to have a vision that they are pursuing diligently. So women now need to position themselves to a point where they need to look beyond the now when it comes to men. As long as he has a vision, lay down vision that he's ready to pursue or is already pursuing diligently, that is a great mark of a good man.
Wow. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, with respect to successful women, attracting maybe a man to approach them, I think, like I define who a successful woman is. Naturally, a man is supposed to provide. Now, when a woman has everything going for her, what she basically needs from a man who is coming on board is loyalty, respect, love. That is what she basically needs, because I'm able to do the basic stuff. You don't necessarily have to get me something, pay my fees, or you don't necessarily have to do that. I'm able to take care of that. If it comes on as a plus, but then the basic thing she wants, it's the love, the respect, the loyalty. Now, to men who are intimidated, I believe men who are really intimidated by successful women are not ready to bring these things on board. They want to just cover it all up with, I've given you a house, I give you chop money, everything that you are, I'm the one who made you. Men who are intimidated, they live in the disguise of the basic provision that they want. Now, if you want a successful woman, someone said, I think in my reading and everything, it's success in itself to date or to marry a successful woman because she amplifies the man. I could use Ohineyuri Giftianti, for example. A lot of people didn't really know the husband. He could have been doing well, but now you would pay keen attention to the husband just because of the woman by his side. Okay. So men who are intimidated are not ready to bring these things on board. So if you notice, if you ask questions around, you realize that men who are not intimidated, they know where they are going to. They have a clear plan. Their mind is intellectually stimulated. Like it's nice. They are ready to bring these things on board, and then it's fine. So the moment you're intimidated, I don't think you can even.
But how would you even know this person is intimidated? Some pretend. Like for instance, you're talking to a man, and the man is like, "Oh wow, you're not just a pretty face. You're like your sound up there." I'm like, that is a man who is intimidated because coming towards you, the man was like, "Oh, she's pretty. Let me just try and and then you start a convo, and then the person talks to you for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and they can conclude that no, this is not my type. This girl might overshadow me." We have people like that. Yes. Okay, so to the forum. We are ready for you. Yeah, but I'm starting with you. Can we have the mic?
The fact that when God created man and woman, he made us equal. And then after the fall, he said man should be the head of the woman. I want to understand, why would God make us equal and then come back and say you have to head over me? Is God not contradicting his initial plan? And why is that?
But to tell you the gospel truth, I wasn't in the mind of God. Why?
Oh my God!
All that I know is that when the woman was made, he said he made the woman in the image of like to be equal to the man as a helpmeet. But when after the fall, he made a statement that now the woman shall be the ruler over thee. Did you get it? I don't know why he made it that statement, but there was anger. And anytime that there is an issue of anger, things can change. So probably that is why they changed the position of the woman. But again, in my mind, personal mind, if you remember in my introduction, I'm looking at this topic personally, not what somebody thinks. In my mind, even when he says that the man shall be a ruler over thee, doesn't make the woman a lesser person. Just that he is giving a degree there. But it doesn't make the woman in any way a lesser person.
Okay.
Yeah, since he was not there and I was not there,
Okay, Betty.
Okay, so biblically, the Bible says money is a defense. And me as a woman,
I didn't hear what you said.
Biblically, the Bible says money is a defense. And this money is very essential in marriage as well. And as a woman, I want to be extremely successful, irrespective of my husband's status or financial status. Okay, but then money gives power. Naturally, money gives power. And power gives you authority. And authority will give you leadership influence. So I am the woman in the house providing everything as a successful
No, the
woman.
fact that you are successful doesn't mean you're going to provide everything.
Yes, I'm building up my question.
Okay.
Okay, so supposing I'm the most successful woman in my house. Okay, then how am I supposed to manage this influence that money has given me in my marriage, to still have a happy marriage and not hurt my husband's ego as a man?
Okay, can I ask you a question? How are you able to submit to your husband now?
How I'm able to submit, even though I'm not at the level I want to be as a successful woman?
Yes.
Okay, I submit by one, trying to align myself with his vision and his purpose.
Do you go by the scriptures?
Yes,
Okay.
when it's needed.
When it's needed. So, you are a Christian. You're a pastor's wife. Why would you know what submission means? So why would money suddenly change your stance on submission?
Okay, so money can really attack. Papa always says that money changes people. They get
Which
the
means
money.
you have to make a conscious
effort. So my
to make
question
sure-
now is, how do I make sure that I don't hurt my husband's ego as a man?
Okay, so I believe that's a great question, and I would love for us to look at this, or I would like to tackle this through the lenses of the scripture. So in 2 Kings chapter 4, the Bible talks about the Shunammite woman. The Bible says that it fell on a day that Elisha passed through Shunem, where there was a great woman. Now, the reference the Bible made to that woman as being great, I believe, meant that the woman was notable in her community. I believe that the woman was successful to a degree. I believe the woman was a woman of influence, and she was rich to a certain degree. But reading on, you realize that when the woman perceived that Elisha was a man of God, and desired that, desired to build for him, a chamber and all that, she first, she went to seek her husband's approval. She went to discuss it with her husband. That meant that, no matter how influential she was in the community, no matter how notable she was, she valued the opinion of her husband. And that to me is submission. So it doesn't matter how high you go when it comes to success. Because let me talk about this. There's a woman called Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She's one of the greatest global economic minds in the world. No two ways about that. Today she sits on a lot of boards, including Twitter and even Standard Chartered. Now in 2005, she was one of only 2 women who were female finance ministers. Herself and then one woman from Mozambique. Now, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was talking in one of her TED submissions, and said that even at her age, she still makes time to cook for her husband. Her husband is also successful. He is a neurosurgeon, but her husband's success cannot be compared to the successes of his wife. But the wife still submits to the husband. So it doesn't matter how high you go.
And with God coming to say that, okay, now the man is the ruler, I'm just beginning to think that in everything there's always a captain, like someone who has to take over. So I believe that maybe God felt there should be someone in charge. Because, for instance, if I don't know he's supposed to be my head, if I don't know he's my boss, when he says something, I will object. I'm not always supposed to accept everything my husband says, but then when I know that he's the head of the family, there are certain things that I might not be okay with, but then I'm sure there are certain things, certain decisions I take and my husband is not okay with it, but then he feels like, okay, this is not the best, I feel like it will help the 2 of us. So I'm not sure God did that in order to maybe make the woman feel lesser of a human, but just to bring order. That is how I see it. Just to bring order, because without order, everybody will just, do anything they want. Tracy.
Okay, so my question is to Mame. Mame, what would you do if you find out that the man you're married to is being dated by when you're here? For instance, before you got married, you didn't have this level of recognition. Now you have it, and it came after you were married. And initially he was okay, but now you have that power. What would you do as a woman?
Okay, so one thing I have come to realize is that one of the things that bring about this whole intimidation thing is how we carry ourselves. Okay, now in the way we carry ourselves, there are times that it's conscious and there are times that it's unconscious. You know, because you're doing so well, it feels good, you know. So when you walk into a room, you feel so good that everything that you have, you got it. You know, it feels good. It's a good feeling to be doing well. Even men feel good about it. But then I believe as women, as successful women, we have to make a conscious effort to carry our message right. So yes, naturally your look might be intimidating, but then you can just make a conscious effort to just say hello to somebody, smile. And in the case of my partner, my husband, you know, the premise is he is the head. As a Christian, that is the premise. It says that woman should submit, you should respect your husband. That is it. So no matter how well I'm doing, I have to make a conscious effort to submit. And I think true submission for a woman to the husband is when you have everything going for you, yet you know that this is your husband. So you know you can do everything. You can fly around the world. You can do anything you want to do. But then you ask him and he says that, oh, I need you to do this thing for the family. He is the head. It brings order. So true submission is, okay, I want to do this, I can do that, but then he says that because he's my head, I revere him and I do it. So I just have to make a conscious effort to.
Okay,
it's very important.
Add a follow-up to what she had. What, you know, we have people who are naturally jealous. So what if you happen to be with a man like that, but then because you didn't have that much, you didn't know. So you are married now, you are in a very high position, but then this person is jealous of what you are doing. How do you, it's not about submission, maybe you submit to do everything, but then the person is jealous. What would you do?
Jealousy is this. But even God is even God is jealous, but I think naturally women are really gifted. Okay. Women are an embodiment of grace. That is why I believe women, and we are able to get anything we set our mind to. Now, you can't walk out of the divorce. You know, sometimes it can be very intimidating when the man is suppressing you. So, there is a way we can find a way out. You should be able to find a way. It wouldn't be easy, but you have to use that wisdom God has given us as women to figure it out. Men are, they know. Like, men can think about one particular thing at a time. So, because you're able to multitask, you'll be able to figure out something to get to your husband. Sure. You would be there's always a way. That is a gift God has given women. So I need us. We have something we can get into. Okay. Because we can't walk out.
Adam.
Okay, I want to ask. If the Bible says the two shall become one, so then where is the success of a lady?
Okay, so what we are talking about is, for instance, if you are not married to the person, does it drive men away? Does it intimidate them that much to drive them away? Because you see a lot of successful women out there who are single. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not about man and husband and wife. Like a single woman, she's successful, there's no money there. Just because they are intimidated. Because I believe that if you are married and your wife happens to be blessed, it's coming to the same house, the same family. If you feel like you are too intimidated and you feel like your wife is not going to, sit her down and talk to her. Just that some women sometimes get too controlling. They feel like, now I'm the boss of the house, so I run things, so you can't say anything when I talk. Karen.
I wanted to ask, can friends and family play a role in a man being intimidated?
Yes.
And think how?
Can friends and family play a role in a man being intimidated by a man's success?
Because there is a question within the question, which is, why is this intimidation? That is why I come back to Betty's question. Because she asked that with all her success, how is she going to behave to set the husband to say? But where is the intimidation coming from? before you intimidate somebody, it looks as if there is a command which the person is not making. The person is not responding to the signal. So now you have to show the person. But the Bible says that when you leave your parents, the two shall become one. Probably in a way not to carve it as a submission, but that woman, that man also feel about the husband's, the wife's sister. So she's talking with him. He doesn't do anything, she honors the wife. Because somewhere in the Bible, it shows how you honor the wife, she put a crown on her head, how she will be able to treat you. So if all those things are in place, then where this question of intimidation comes from?
Then it means they are not in place.
They are not in place. So coming back to her question there, it means that fine. From afar, somebody can see that the way the intimidation will just basically be that the way the lady is behaving. So a good friend can come in, call the woman or the meeting and say that I feel that this thing should be put in this perspective. So rightfully, friends can play a role.
Okay, I also feel like if the woman is yearning more and she keeps saying my money, my car, my house, that also brings intimidation. When you are in a relationship, that is a different thing because of course it is yours. But then when you come together, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So when you buy all these things and you marry and you come together, down to because of course if the man buys before he gets married,
the two shall become one. So it become out. For instance, in my house, my phone, if I change the password today, I have to write it and put it on. Yeah, because everybody has my wallet, whatever it is, anything that is password should be known by them. Because we believe in that system. My daughter, for instance, we didn't see the reason why they are doing something.
okay. The woman is supposed to be a help.
Yes.
Isn't the person that is helping me supposed to be better than me?
Yes. Sure. Yeah. It's
because if I'm supposed to be your helpmate, I'm supposed to be better than you to be able to help you. I can't just, if I don't have an experience, if I can't help you, why should I be your helpmate?
It's actually in one of the submissions that I see that the helpmate should be better. The helpmate, that is why I always say that the woman came with a stronger force to help the man. Because per the Bible, what Professor Adam did in the garden, you can see how big, how wide the garden is. But for the woman to come as a helpmate, it means she's going to do an equal task to what she's been doing already. When you believe in the game of soccer, for instance, most of the teams that won, you see that their bench is even stronger than the field of play. So I personally have seen that the helpmate that comes with a stronger.
Yes, that is what I also think. I don't know if anybody has a different view on that.
Okay. But I also want to add, in the aspect of the woman being...
So I'll take the comments from...
Okay. In the aspect of the woman being maybe better or something...
Can I get the comments to read?
I see a woman to be... I define a woman as an investor, okay? Naturally, because we are helpmeet, a man should have a plan, a vision, a direction, and then he sells it to the woman, okay? So the moment I agree with you, that is when I decide to invest in you. I invest in you by supporting you to be able to make sure you carry out that vision, that plan, to make it a realization. Okay, so women are basically investors. Like I said, we are the embodiment of grace. So the moment you are intimidated by a woman's success, it means you don't necessarily have a clear plan, because she's going to amplify you, she's going to make you better. Do you get the point I'm making? We are investors, so we are like we are the real deal. So yeah, so naturally we shouldn't be men shouldn't be intimidated by women. Maybe the way you carry yourself.
Adding up to what you said is that God described woman actually to be like a merchant. A merchant ship. So for God to describe woman as a merchant ship, it means that woman has some kind of how do I put it? So, some kind of strength that can do everything. Again, the other side of the woman too has been described as somebody who can bring down kids.
Yes.
So it means that the woman has power, weapon of mass destruction. You say that. So when you want to describe the woman in totality, she's all in all.
Okay, so if you just joined, we are talking about why are men intimidated by successful women. Sorry. I'll take some of the comments and okay, so this is from Raja Yeboah. Said, sometimes also I think that some men are driven by assumptions. They assume that because a woman is successful, then she's arrogant. But that may not necessarily be true. Don't be intimidated by your own cowardice. I think there's a difference between an arrogant person and a successful person.
But there is a perception out there. So if you notice, naturally the men assume, maybe because of the way we carry ourselves, that they assume, and later when they get close to these women, they'll be like, oh, before I thought you were this way, but you are actually a very nice person. So I think one of the things that really kills people, makes men lose opportunity, is the fact that they assume a lot. I think that's the truth, because assumption is deception. Because when you assume, you lose out.
But not all men.
Okay, can I take this?
No, so
from
very bold people.
Can I take the comments? Okay. Mrs. Vera Ado said, but submission will come naturally if the man is playing his part by loving his wife properly. True, but the Bible teaches to submit without condition. I was about to say that. That is from Raja Yeboah. Nonehi Koleki Seto said, same submission is dominating the discussion. Was looking forward to clear lines on whether men are intimidated by successful women and how such situations can be helped in the context of Christian marriages. Yes, that is what we are dealing with. The submission came in when Betty asked the question. Thank you. Vera Ado said, some men carry their ego on top of their head. Meanwhile, they are not doing the right thing. And some women too are just too much. Techiwa Mame, an insecure man will always have an issue. A secure man will not be intimidated with a successful woman. He will embrace her. Master, it is in order. Men love your wife. Wives succumb. God is a God of order. So let everyone be in their lane. Sarah Pente said, Bachale Eding Pao, knowing well this guy doesn't love you, but he's with you for whatever reason. El Kaj Desmond, I also strongly believe that Christ is not intimidated by any other person's success. And if this is the fact, then I don't know why men should be intimidated because a woman is successful. As long as they've agreed to be together, then the issue of being intimidated shouldn't be mentioned at all. Jesus said, two shall agree on a thing on earth, and it shall stand. Thank you. Some ladies' singleness is their own making. It may have nothing to do with intimidated men. That is true. Echo answer, agree. Thank you, Daddy. Some men are intimidated by the success of their women. Not all men are. Naturally, there's an inbuilt thing in men that makes them feel in charge. A 5-year-old boy may think it's his responsibility to protect and take care of his sisters and mom because it's inbuilt. However, I believe that women must not be limited. So if you are a man and your partner is successful than you, you need to compliment her and support her and not be intimidated by her success. Elkaj Desmond again said, we must also note that this discussion is kingdom-based. because this success we are talking about is only found in the kingdom and not outside it. Thank you. Sarah Penton, some men won't support you in anything you do, but yet want to be the first to enjoy when whatever you're doing becomes very successful. I can't think far on that. Nana Kwesi to intimidate, to frighten or overawe someone, especially in order to make them do what one wants. A mature man will never be intimidated by a woman's success. It is only amateur men. Elka Desmond. Festus was...
Okay. In your submission, you said something like, before you married your wife, she was doing well, and you were now starting up something.
Can you speak up?
Yeah, in your submission, you said, before you married your wife, she was doing well, and you were now starting up something. So how were you able to decode your vision to her? Because I'm sure you spoke to her about your vision, whatever you want to do, and she believed in you, and she respected that. So how were you able to do that?
Well, from the beginning, I made my wife understand that, you know, in my vision, I was not going to work for anybody. And the fact that I told her that I decided I was not going to work for anybody did not mean I was going to, you know, sit down and do nothing. At that time, even when I was going to register my business, she knew that I was going to register my business. She knew from the get-go everything that I had planned out. So I communicated it to her. I made her understand what I was looking for, what the business was going to do, and everything. And I remember at a point, she came to me. She was like, "What can I do to make your business better? What can I do to help you?" And then I told her what she could do, and then she's still doing it. So I think in this situation, apart from, you know, laying down the vision, making your partner, whoever you are with, understand your vision, as a man who is not intimidated by her success, is that, you know, at every point, no matter how successful she is, everyone desires to get better at any point in their lives. So you need to ask yourself, just like my wife asked herself, what can I do? No matter how successful she is, what can I do to make her a better person? Definitely there's going to be a point or a particular point in her life where she needs to empower herself in a particular area in her life where she needs to empower herself in. So I believe that as long as you go looking out for which area of her life that she can, you know, get better at and help her and you know, to get better at it, the fact that you've communicated your vision to her alone wouldn't be enough.
Anna.
Okay, I think my question will go to Mr. Sean. Okay, it's a little personal. How would you erase the wrong impression people have about you? I actually have suffered this. So you have people thinking you look too sophisticated and all that, so men won't come to you. I've had people walk up to me, some are friends, some are people who are observing from afar, that, okay, let me put it the way one particular person said, school work kakra eye, so with that perception, I schooled with the person in UCC. The person knows I'm a law student. So to him, I'm not dating, I'm not married at the moment. So then it's a put off for men because I am too sophisticated and I'm too much into books. I'm bettering myself. At some point, I would have to put a stop and just sit down for the men to come. How do you erase that wrong impression from the minds of people? Like,
well, number one, I don't think it is your responsibility to erase that perception in the minds of people. I think that person you're talking about fits into this discussion. That person is intimidated by your success, or how well you've been able to be yourself, or how well you're able to, you know, you're going when it comes to bettering yourself. Now, if anyone wants to get to know you, it's the person's responsibility to come close enough for you to be able to communicate your vision to the person. So now, if you communicate your vision to the person, make the person understand who you are and where you are going, then the person will be like, okay, so you are not that sophisticated after all. So that person that you spoke about, number one, it is not your responsibility to erase, you know, the perception the person had, because you didn't plant the perception there. So if the person would be humble enough to get close to you and ask questions, I believe
I see that as intimidation. This type of man, I don't know the kind of, this is the type of man that will marry a woman and ask the woman to sit at home, be in the kitchen, cook, take care of the kids, do this, do that, and then you'll be taking the money from his pocket for the woman. And he sees himself as a man, he knows where he's going to. And he sees you going to the same level as him. And so he will see you as a competition, like, oh, your bar, chill, allow the guys to, go. And just yours is to just get married to a man, give birth, and then, be there. That is how so he sees you as a competition. He's intimidated by the things you do. So I don't think that should be a problem to you. That should be his problem. And what I would add to it is a man that knows what he wants. Like a man that wants a woman, this is a man who knows what he wants. He knows his vision. He wants a certain kind of woman. He wants a woman that they will be on the same level of, when it comes to intelligence, when it comes, when they are dialoguing, that we are talking about, like, this is wisdom, two people talking about, communicating, and that we are making sense. Not, what's it called? Okay, so, like, we are talking about politics, you don't know. So that he will come and tell you, you know what is happening in town, that is it. Now let's bring it back to our Christian home. A married man, a married woman, the woman is more successful than the man. How do you go about this? I saw someone saying that we were going into submission too much. But we cannot talk about this without talking about submission. You have to talk about submission. It's connected. Because if you say you are married, you're a Christian, the Bible talks about submission. But what are some of the things that can make you not submit? Money. So it definitely comes up. You have to, you should be able to know that, okay, prepare your mind so well that when you know that when I get to this level, I'm definitely going to submit. I won't let this thing make me do certain things that I wouldn't want my husband to do to me. Because I believe there are men who are successful and still think about things with their spouses, their wives. Oh, this is what I want to do. Okay, I want to travel to the States. And then you discuss it with your wife. Your wife is like, oh, I know you want to go. I feel like if we do it this way, it will be better. Then they think about it. But when the woman has money and the man says, okay, I don't think you should go. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And the woman goes, that is being not submissive. So what about the man being successful and going, even after the woman has said it, in a Christian home? So it's just the same. It boils down to this submission thing. There's no way we can talk about it without bringing in submission.
And just the bit about even a housewife, okay?
What is a housewife?
We gave a scenario where a
man would
love
the house cook.
Yes. Even in this modern day, to have a very productive home, your wife, if she has been a housewife, needs a level of knowledge to be able to manage the affairs of the house. The knowledge she has, she would impact on the children, she would impact to the friends of the children. Even when you're making certain business decisions, you could have a whole lot of things going for you. Just the depth of knowledge the woman has. She can just be the housewife, but she can sit home and know exactly what is happening in the globe, in the world, and even help influence even the decisions that you make. So I think even in terms of success, it's not just even about money. It deals with the knowledge that you have, what you add on to the man's life. So you can really be a housewife and then get things running from the house and from home. So maybe we can use the President Obama. We say that a lot of women rule the nation just because of the kind of woman they marry. Obama is no longer the president, but we talk about Michelle Obama a lot. And based on the knowledge of things she has, she wasn't a housewife per se, but based on everything that is happening, if you've read the book, you realize that even though she wasn't the president, it looks like she was running the country. So the depth of knowledge you have as a woman too is a plus. So it is wrong in itself.
No, but I mean, there's no way you see a successful, even as women. You see your fellow woman and sometimes you get intimidated, like, this person is really doing well. Like, she's climbing the ladder with like so much speed and you admire, you're like, oh, I wish I can get there. So there is nothing wrong with, but then you get close to the people. okay, to get to know them. I feel like sometimes outward appearance, the way, like you said, the way you dress, the way you put your things together also scares them away. That's why I asked you that question. That's why I asked you, I was like, how would you what would you recommend a single woman who is successful do to attract the right kind of guy?
To add something to Amma, it's that, you see, at the point of time,
Eugenia, I'm coming to you.
When you are a lady, it's like you have
Nancy,
opened shop.
I see you.
It's like you have opened a shop selling a good at the point of time. That is how personally we do. So you see window shoppers coming. You see prospective buyers coming. You meet all sort of people.
Yeah.
So it's in the mind of you, the seller, to determine your clients.
Yes.
So that person can come.
No, but that guy is not even expecting.
No, I can never give you an exception.
Even if you bring him to me and you're like, okay, Mom, I want him to be this person. And then maybe after 2
it's a put up. It's a
guy
that is the man that you use as example. That is why we are coming in. There are men that even wouldn't get up to a level of a woman that you want. And they will encourage the woman to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
To go further.
Yes.
Because he, at a point of time, has arrived. He will tell himself that this is what I want to do. Just like Mr. Shun was saying, at a point of time, he doesn't want to work for anybody. Probably those who doesn't work for anybody doesn't necessarily get into that.
Okay.
But there are seminars that we attend every now and then. But collectively, when you put those seminar programs together, they are more than a PhD program. You would understand. So in your mind, you would see the man stopping somewhere, but he would encourage the woman to go further if the woman is that type that want to try another activity. So it's basically hold on you, the woman, to choose whoever you want.
Yeah. Eugenia.
Okay, so my question is around men who are not necessarily intimidated by women. They don't seem intimidated. They genuinely want you to do well, but there are certain tiny clauses in the agreements. The only one that comes to mind right now is say you can do whatever you want to do to follow your dream, follow your purpose, but you can't travel outside the country. So if there's a course you want to pursue or something that it's just not available in Ghana because we're here. So the
man you're not married to.
Okay, so I actually wanted you to answer from two sides. Okay. So somebody who's not dating, who's dating a man like this, is it a red flag? And then if you're married to the person, and then the person wants you to do well, but you can spread your wings, but you can't spread it too far. What would you advise such a wife?
Okay, with the relationship, that is a red flag. Like, we are not married. So you can't just tell me not to go and do my MBA or my PhD outside the country. Like, that's a no-no. And before you get married, I believe you have to sit and talk. Okay, so what do you want to do with your life? After my degree, I would want to further my studies. Like, I want to go to the States or United Kingdom to do an MBA or this. You talk about all these things, and the person accepts. And then you get married, and the person is like, then it means you guys didn't talk about it. But if you spoke about it and he said yes, then you should get someone this person is, maybe a father figure in the man's life to talk to him, because this was something you spoke about. Or your counselor, because I'm sure when you're getting married, some of these things come up. Have you spoken about the things you want to do when you get married? Like, would you want to further your education? How many kids you want to have? Work? Would you want to work? Because sometimes people get married and they are like, okay, so you stay at home and take care of the kids and I will pay you. Like, the man will say, I will pay you. Okay, so they talk about all these things. So if you don't talk about it, enter into it. No wahala. I believe you should talk about it. But then if you are in a relationship and the man tells you that, no, you can't go outside to do your PhD, that's the red flag. Because this will be someone that will be so controlling, he wouldn't allow you to air your views. You can't talk about anything. It's always about him. Like, he will force things on you.
Well, I believe, you know, having or being in a relationship shouldn't limit you when it comes to pursuing your vision. Being in a relationship or getting married should rather amplify your vision or make you a better person. So, back to my case, my wife has more travel experience than I do, and I'm not intimidated by that. Hell, if I had my own way, I would travel the world. Now, the tag my wife makes it a win-win for us. So if you're in a relationship with a person already setting boundaries for you, telling you that this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do, and you believe that in every way is going to affect your vision, and I believe you reconsider. Because if you do not set these boundaries or you know, put these checks in place, when you get married, you realize that you are actually in an agreement that you already signed, and it's going to be very difficult for you to, you know, take yourself out of that agreement. Yeah.
So if you get into the marriage and he later says, you know, get someone he looks up to, someone he respects, to talk to him, and I'm sure something can be done.
I think that is even an early signal. He's already
by you.
Yeah, by you. Because he's clipping your wings. It's like he's giving you parameters in which you can operate. But so it's already, you see, sometimes it's not all the time that you become successful before. Water doesn't boil at 100 degrees. It starts boiling around 80 degrees. So you can be at 80 degrees, but somebody knows definitely that this is a successful person.
Yeah.
So they would want to clip your wings before you fly. So from the word go, you should see that is even an intimidation. It's being expressed in other ways.
Nancy.
I have two questions.
Please speak up.
I have two questions. The first one is, can a woman position herself in a way that not to intimidate the man, but to push the man to get better?
Yeah.
So not to intimidate him, but then she realized that maybe the man is not doing something. So just for him to do better.
Something like maybe the man is not working,
Yes, the man is
and then she looks for a job for the man.
Yes.
Okay, there are people that you can look for a job for, but they will still not go to work.
Yeah, but from what she's saying,
So, you know, there are signs. So, for instance, if you are dating and you look for a job for him and he goes without any excuse, that is good. But a man that you look for the job for him is like, oh, we just said,
it means that the man doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to. He wants to use your money.
What you are saying is you can liken it to a relay in athletics. That when your teammates are bringing the baton, but you can fall back to take the baton from the person and run faster. So in that case, you wanted the man to come to your level. Sometimes you really meet women that you can see by every standard that whatever you do as a man, you cannot. But you want the woman. And if that woman also being a team player that wants you to take on the level, she can fall back and...
Mr. Pash, have you seen that video where the baton was given to another person? Run back to when they started the race.
But even with that, I think maybe sometimes there's a need to understand exactly what the man wants to do, okay? Because sometimes I think we just want our men in a certain kind of way. So like he clearly defined, he doesn't want to ever work for someone. And if you don't have that understanding, you might always come, get him a job, and he might not go and do it because that's not what he wants. So I think we should just take time to understand the plan of the man and see if we can fit in. If we can support him and fit in, we can go with him. But if we don't, let's try.
Come in, like we wanted our man in a certain kind of way. I mean, when you went for the man, he was in a certain kind of way, and then you went for him. That is a mistake most of us make. Like they go for the man, okay, he's like this, but well, I'm sure I can change him. maybe he's lazy, or you feel like, oh, when you marry him, you force him to go to work, you force him to make money, and then you settle with this man and he doesn't change. So what happens?
So that's when
you've already married him. There's nothing you can do.
Okay, so I think one of the things you need to look out for before tagging along when it comes to relationships and marriage is that you need to first look out for a man who has a vision. I mean, that's the baseline. Because before Eve came, Adam already had his hands full. Adam was already pursuing something. Adam already had an assignment that he was pursuing. So because he had an assignment that he was pursuing, Eve came to help him pursue that assignment. So you cannot want to help a man who is not doing anything. What does he have? What is he pursuing? What does he want to do? You understand? What does he have in place? So if he has nothing he's doing, then where are you going to, at what point are you going to be the help meet?
Okay. Any contribution?
Okay, so I want to add up to if men are intimidated.
Mark, I didn't see you.
So I want to add
You've been hiding.
Okay, so I want to add up to if men are intimidated by successful women, and I would also like to ask a question.
Okay.
So, an issue that most successful women have is they think men are intimidated by
their success.
Okay. Yes. I honestly believe that there are men who really are intimidated.
Yeah.
But then I think it's the energy and then the attitude they exude that makes it intimidating. Now to my question, I understand that the man is supposed to be the foundation of the family, and then the woman is supposed to be a helpmate. Now, what should a man do when he feels he has lost that position to a woman who is trying or who is assuming the position as the foundation?
I don't get you said something. He's lost the position. What has he done to lose the position?
He lost it.
What makes him feel? So can you maybe give an example? What would make a man feel?
Let's say a man who is intimidated by the success of
the woman.
Yes.
A woman he's dating?
It
or
could
marriage?
be in marriage, in relationship.
Put the last part of
yes,
the
the last part.
The last part.
How should the man react or behave towards, let's say if they are married, how should the man react?
If he's lost the position.
If he feels intimidated.
When he feels intimidated or he feels he's losing the position as the foundation of the family.
Okay, I believe that there's always something that triggers the intimidation. Okay, so who knows, maybe it's from the woman's side. So if it is from the woman, just make sure you talk to her that I feel like this whole thing is beginning to get to you and is making you, change. So I wish we could do this. And if you have a counselor, you can see the counselor. The two of you can go to the counselor and talk about it. Because I feel like she's human, and if the money is making her change, definitely, I'm sure when you feel your friend is going on the wrong path, you definitely try to bring them back. Okay, so if your wife is doing things that is making you intimidated, then you should be able to bring her back on board, like bring her on track that, madam, I feel like, there's a way to talk to people, but if you go in a harsh way, might not go over, but then sit her down, talk to her that I feel like this is what I've seen, and it's not really helping me. It's really affecting, because some of these things really affect their ego, like the men. So you should be able to tell the woman that this and this and that is what is going on. It's not really helping me. I don't know if you have something to add to that.
Okay, so I believe that you said that you were asking what should the man do if he feels he's losing the place, or he feels he's losing his place as a head, right? So I believe that marriage is not run by emotion. So before you get to that point where you begin to have a lot of feelings, communication is one of the main drivers of marriage or any relationship. So before you get married, you should be able to talk, you should be able to communicate with each other and understand what is going to be your role, what is going to be my role, so that at the end of the day, there'll be no point where both of your responsibilities overlap. So I know that, okay, I'm earning X amount of money, my wife is earning X amount of money. Okay, so you are the wife, all right? I want you to take care of the children's school fees with, your salary. I'm going to do this, that, and that as well. The fact that my wife is paying the school fees of the kids does not mean I should be intimidated, because we've already drawn the line, we've already spoken about it. So I believe that before a man gets to that point, then, I mean, there should be a clear, or that should be a clear indication of lack of communication. If you talk things out and you both understand your roles in the marriage,
and you pray together,
you pray together as husband and wife, then I don't think a man would get to that point where he would feel intimidated.
Yeah, my friend just say something.
Yes.
Adam, you also want to say something?
Yeah, I also want to make this. Okay, so all I wanted to add is that we live in this patriarchal system or society where we feel that men should be the breadwinners. And so when a man detects that a woman can provide, he feels threatened because they are raised to tie their ego and their self-confidence to the ability to be the breadwinner. And it also falls to the fact that there's sometimes where you meet someone, or someone might have an interest in you as a lady, and you might not necessarily like the person. And you hear comment like, hey, just give in, because in a few years he will be successful and you will regret, which is very wrong.
Yes, that really happens a lot.
Which is very wrong, because success should not be gendered in any way. When we understand that a man can be successful, a woman can be successful, then there is no intimidation. Then we can all bring something to the table and enjoy the buffet, just like that.
Okay, thank you. Adam.
Okay, we got to take a survey here and find out, for every married man, would you want your wife to be successful more than you? I'm like, everyone would say yes, 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 yes. Like every married man would say yes. And that means the problem is with the single guys and ladies.
Okay.
Especially when you want to date. So it's not really in the marriage, but I think it's in when you want to date, when you are dating or around that side. That is where I think the problem is. The intimidation is.
Okay.
So men, let me add this to what Obaya said, what you were saying. The thing is that by nature, when men are, when we are growing up, we are built to strive to succeed. We are built to strive to lead.
That's my question. Why?
Then we'll have to go.
Why?
Then we'll
No,
have
but
to
just
go,
like
no.
earlier on, he said, even if you give birth to a girl, you always make sure you push them to get to the top. So it's just like
I just want
you
to find
pushing
out why do raise men to I
I'm
don't get.
I'm not being gender.
No, I understand you, but I just when you started your submission, you were trying to let us know
sensitive
that
here. What I'm
men
saying
are raised
is,
in
what
that
I'm
way,
saying is, men by their nature strive to lead. They strive to, achieve. You understand? Because whether you like it or not, men have it at the back of their minds that a boy has it at the back of his mind that I'm going to grow up one day to become a breadwinner, whether you like it or not. So now, one of the things that men who tend to be intimidated should understand is that it is not always about proving your masculinity. It's not always about trying to show that you are the only one who's egoistic, because the greatest way I believe you can show your masculinity when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to marriage, is to bring something to the table. That's the best way to prove that you are a man. As long as you bring something to the table, then this issue of, as long as you're ready to bring something to the table, as long as you bring something to the table, then this issue of intimidation will never hold water.
Yes, that is true, because I mean, if you meet me and I'm coming with the Range Rover and you're also coming with the Range Rover, we get together and we have 2 Range Rovers,
yes,
2 buildings,
yes.
So why should
so I always say that
intimidate you?
I always say that if my wife ends up being a billionaire and I end up being a millionaire, we are both successful,
yes,
and none of us is poor. So I don't think men should be intimidated by.
You see, going back to Malachi's question, sometimes before the intimidation comes, that one within relationship, it means certain things would have gone wrong on the part of the man.
Okay.
Like Mr. Sean was saying that men are made to strive to be successful. So in our ability to strive to become successful, we take a lot of it.
Okay.
And women are not like that. That is why sometimes in relationship you see that you do certain things without telling your wife. Because a woman will sit you down and give you all the risk involved in it. But there are times that you as a man to give you see that no, you have to make the move. And sometimes in making the move we lost. A woman being who she is wouldn't mind you because you will come back. So that is where she begins to pay you by way of intimidation. Because I have said it.
Okay, so my submission is in line with the question Malachi asked. I think that if you're a man and you have a woman in your life who intimidates you in the sense that she makes you feel less of a man and doesn't make you feel good enough about yourself, that's not a woman to keep. Let's look at the other side, the other positive side of intimidation. For all you know, you are doing very well, but the woman has observed and seen that you can do more than you are doing, that you have capacity to do better, but maybe you are being lazy about it. She can, in a sense, intimidate you or push you because you shouldn't say.
No, yes. We have different people and how they talk.
She has to encourage you, give you reason. By encouraging you, she will sit you on the table to give you reasons.
So all your friends are at the bank and you are still sleeping.
I think it's an error.
But intimidation doesn't give reason.
Yeah.
No, yeah, encouragement. Yeah.
That is encouragement. Yeah. All your friends are at the bank and you are sleeping.
It's actually an error for a woman to.
Mr. Kwashi, but it would be dependent on how it is presented.
Yes.
So then
this is all about the presentation. But somebody can put you in a position, she wouldn't say it verbally, but her disposition alone can intimidate you to a point you don't even feel confident enough around her. That's not a woman to keep. She's purely
What if you are already married to this person?
Wow, that's another headache.
Okay, Betty, I think you're the last person. Okay.
So I just wanted to add to the fact that when, like men, or not only men, we don't get ourselves prepared for the what ifs that comes into relationships and marriages. Like, what if today I may lose my job? What if she becomes this and that? We are not taught these things, so then we enter into the marriage or the relationship and then we get intimidated. But then again, there are certain things that defines a woman. So my advice is that we don't allow the success that we are acquired change our definition as women. That's what I would say.
As a Christian woman.
Yes.
As a Christian woman. Yeah.
So I came to understand that naturally, be a successful woman or what, naturally for a man to even take a step to show an interest in a woman is a big deal. Okay, if she's just standing here taking just 10 steps to go and tell her you like her, it's a big deal. Now look at it in the sense where you are walking to tell a woman who is doing so well that you like her. It's even a much bigger deal. Okay, so then you'll be asking yourself a lot of questions, and then it comes in the form as intimidation. Okay, she's doing so well. Even if she's not doing well, what if she bounces me? That's just a normal thing. Now she has everything going for her, and just look at me right now. Like, what if she bounces me?
What's wrong with someone bouncing you?
No. I am told.
But
if
guys,
a man would admit
it's now bouncing.
it's a big deal for you. It's a big deal for you too. It's not easy for a man to just say that.
Plenty about before you got married, so it's normal.
No, but it's not an easy step for you to make, or is it easy for a guy to just propose to a lady?
It depends on the individual.
It's an easy thing.
I don't say it's easy, cry. The bouncing that you chop.
At every point in your life, you're looking for companionship. You're looking for that person you can talk to all the time. You're looking for that person you want to talk to before you go to sleep. You're looking for that person you want to share vision with. So now the fact that I've gone to X person and then that the relationship that doesn't work out because of one or two reasons doesn't stop me or should not stop me from going to the next person.
No, I'm not talking about it stopping you. I just wanted to give, in terms of the intimidation, okay, that I came to understand based on maybe interactions with a few people that it wasn't, a man wouldn't naturally just get up and say I like you, a focused man, because you're asking yourself a lot of questions. Now the woman is doing well, so it comes in a form of intimidation. You really have to gather a lot of words to tell that person, and that is the quote in which is a big deal. Okay, so that is the form of intimidation.
All right, so Malachi, you're the last, right?
It's just a simple question. I believe success is relative, and at what point would you say a lady is more successful?
Okay. Well, she defined being successful, but I believe a woman who knows where she's going to, someone who has achieved certain things that not every woman or not every man has achieved, a woman who has been through stereotype, just like she mentioned, she's why is she going to school, why is she doing this, a woman who has been through everything but managed to get there, didn't allow some of these things to pull them down. That is a successful woman to me.
Well, thank you, Mommy. I also believe that success has to do with the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose to me. So now, if a woman says that in my plan for this year or next year, I want to complete, maybe do 2 sandwich courses, 3 sandwich courses, go back to school this year, and she ends up going back to school this year, to a certain extent she's successful because she has accomplished that particular aim or that particular purpose. So if a woman says that okay, I want to be able to run 5 businesses and own 5 businesses in the next 2 years, and at the end of the 2 years she's running all these 5 businesses concurrently, then the woman is successful. So now, if you're a man and in your vision you are still pursuing but you've not achieved significant success yet, and a woman in her vision has achieved significant success, that doesn't make you successful, and that's what a lot of men refuse to understand. So I know of a man who had always or has always desired to cook. Cooking is the man's life. He doesn't want to do any other thing apart from cooking. So this is the case where the man meets a woman who is one of the biggest names in human resource development, across Africa. So now she meets the woman, they vibe, and then they realize that there's a chemistry, they like each other. So now the woman asks herself, okay, what do you want to do? The man says, okay, I already have, maybe a year's qualification in culinary school. And the woman said, okay, I have a part-time class that I teach, part-time, networking sessions that I hold. So in order for you to bring your vision into my vision, what I want you to do is that I want you to put together, some recipes so that you can cook and then give it to the people who come for these networking sessions. And at the end of the day, people ended up coming not because of the sessions, they came because of the food. You understand? So the woman has helped the man achieve significant success. So
Alright, so I end by saying that a man who doesn't want to grow will not allow his woman to grow. So if you happen to meet a man like this and you are not married, I think it means you are intimidating the person. He's not going to add anything to your life because this is someone who doesn't want to grow. He's not going to allow you to grow. He's not even going to encourage you to go to school. And if you bring up the topic of wanting to go back to school, he's definitely going to stop you. So there are signs that you can see and just walk away from things like that. The moment you see that, no, this is a red flag, you just run away from that. All right, thank you so much for staying with us. It's been an amazing journey from 6-something till now, and I've really had fun. This is one of my best episodes. And I want to say thank you to the executive producer, Prophet Bernardo Nelson-Eshun, for encouraging us to do this. Mr. Ashun will invite people to church for tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow, you cannot miss church tomorrow. October is our month of leadership, Our father is going to continue his teaching on leadership. Join us tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. at the Oracle's place. The Oracle, Prophet Bernardo Nelson-Eshun, is going to be in his element. But if you live around East Legon, don't forget that Spirit Life Our Ministries East Legon, we meet at the Tom Rick Hotel. Start our service from 7:45. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you. I hope you've had as much fun as we had. I really had fun. All right, so don't forget to link up with us same time, same place. That thing you've been saying.
Oh, same time next week is bye for now.
It's bye for now. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.